Hey guys, I'm Anton dela Torre, and this is my partner Timothy Mejia.
Mejia.
Tulelo Math tutorial that let you love math. This tutorial is all about the limit laws, and the main goal is to understand the limit laws thoroughly. But before we go to the limit laws, let us first know the two usable limit in this lesson. Identity limit. This limit consists of only one variable with coefficient of 1, like x, and the answer is always its approaching value. Constant limit. As we can see, this is a limit of constant and the answer is always the constant value. Example. For identity limit, we have limit of x as x approaches 4, and the answer is 4. Then for constant limit, we have limit of 1 as x approaches 6, and the answer is 1. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And now, let's go to the first law, the addition law. Let first function be represented by f of x, and the second function be represented by g of x. This law simply means that the sum of the functions is equal to the sum of the limit of the functions as x approaches c. For example, the limit of x plus 7 as x approaches 2. When solved using the law, this will become limit of x as x approaches 2 plus limit of 7 as x approaches 2. Then simplifying, limit of x as x approaches 2 is 2. Then limit of 7 as x approaches 2 is 7. So we have 2 plus 7, which is equal to 9. Next is subtraction. It states that the limit of the difference of two functions is equal to the difference of their limits. Got it? What do you mean? Is it no? So let's have an example. Limit of quantity x minus 2 as x approaches 5. When the law of subtraction is applied, it will become limit of x as x approaches 5 minus limit of 2 as x approaches 5. Then 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. Then another law, constant multiple, states that the limit of the product of a constant k and a function as x approaches c is same with the constant k multiplied to the limit of the function as x approaches c. We have a given of limit of 6x as x approaches 8. Following the constant multiple law, we have 6 times the limit of x as x approaches 8. Then product of 6 and 8 is 48. Next is multiplication. The limit of the product of functions as x approaches c is equal to the limit of a function as x approaches c times the limit of another function as x approaches c.
I think so.
Example. Find the limit of the product of x plus 1 and x when x is approaching 2. By the law, this equals to limit of quantity x plus 1 when x is approaching 2 multiplied to the limit of x as x approaches 2. But first, we will solve limit of quantity x plus 1 by the addition law. Then we will have a result of 3 times 2. This equals to 6. The next one is the division law. The limit of the quotient of two functions as x approaches c is equal to the limit of the first function as x approaches c divided by the limit of the second function as x approaches c, wherein the limit of the second function as x approaches c should not be equal to 0. For example, evaluate limit of the quotient of x plus 6 and x as x approaches 2. Then we have limit of quantity x plus 6 divided by the limit of x when x is approaching 2 because of the division law. Solving the numerator using addition law, then we simplify the denominator, which is a limit of identity function. This results to 2 plus 6 all over 2 equals to 8 divided by 2, which is equal to 4. Another law is the power law. This law states that the limit of a function that is raised to n as x approaches c is equal to the limit of a function all raised to n, wherein n is an integer. Example: limit of quantity x minus 4 raised to 5 as x approaches 2. Making it limit of quantity x minus 4 as x approaches 2 all raised to 5. Then we needed to solve first using the subtraction law, giving us quantity of 2 minus 4 raised to 5. Then negative 2 raised to 5 is equal to negative 32. Then the root law. It states that the limit of the root of a function is equal to the root of the limit of a function as x approaches c. For example, limit of the cube root of x as x approaches 8. Using the root law, we have cube root of the limit of x as x approaches 8. Then using the identity limit, we got cube root of 8, which is equal to 2.
Undefined.
After tackling all the laws, let us have the summary of our lesson. So all in all, we have the laws of addition, subtraction, constant multiple, multiplication, division, power, and root. So what do you think is the use of these laws? We use these laws to solve limit problems without the use of table of values. And now that you know all the limit laws, let us have challenging limit problems. What is your answer? Is it negative 1/2?
How?
This is how we solve it. First, we will apply the division law. Then, we will factor the denominator. As we factored it out, we will have a multiplication law. Then limit of x plus 3 as x approaches negative 3 is common on numerator and denominator. So we will cancel it out and we will have a result of 1 over limit of quantity x plus 1 as x approaches negative 3. Then we will apply addition law in the denominator, and we will have a simplified 1 over negative 3 plus 1. Then, we will add negative 3 and 1. And we will have 1 over negative 2 or negative 1/2.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.